It never feels good to give love and not receive it in return. I know, I've been there. In fact, I'll bet you love so hard and you give so much, but more often than not in your relationships, they end up making you feel used and abused. And at the end of this whole relationship, you feel like you've given and given and given and you haven't gotten enough back in return. So in this video, I'm gonna show you 2 reasons why you keep attracting avoidant partners even if you don't know it. But even better, I'm gonna give you the secret sauce of what you can do to change that. This is the magic one. So I want you to watch this video right through the end because that's when I'll give you what you can do to change it. But first, you need to understand these 2 reasons because they'll help you understand what to do better about it. So the first reason, and this is the biggest one, the most important one, you attract this kind of love or these relationships because this is the kind of love that you're used to. Now, what does that really mean? I want you on your own when you're sitting and evaluating your relationships to write down what are the ways that I show up in this relationship and what are the ways that my partner shows up for me. In essence, I want you to write down what are the things that you do to try and earn your partner's love. Now, you may recognize that in a lot of things, your patterns in this relationship are you maybe trying to prove yourself, you trying to do so much for the other person, at the end, ultimately hoping to earn a morsel of their love and affection in return, you trying to please them. So in many cases, maybe even in conflict, when they have their own opinion, you're afraid of them leaving you. You're afraid of them, having a strong opinion, and you're afraid of you having a strong opinion, which may displease them and may make them want to leave you. And so you shut down your own opinion. You start to quell and suppress your own voice. So that's another one of these patterns that you display in your behaviors is you please them too much. You want to make sure they're always happy because if not, you're afraid that they're going to leave you. Your nervous system, this is a key one. One of the big patterns of your behavior here in these relationships is that your nervous system is so attached to heightened feelings of anxiety and stress. Now, how do you know this is true? Because more often than not, a majority of your relationship, especially when things are not good, is basically you feeling a continuous state of stress. You feeling a continuous fear of abandonment or rejection. The fact that this person is either going to leave you, they're not going to be able to show up for you, they're going to leave you feeling alone. And so you have continuously these stress hormones running through your body. Now, stress hormones in a very short amount or very small amount are meant to be helpful because they're meant to inspire you to make some change, inspire you to do something about it for yourself or to create some action. But what happens is when we're in dysfunctional relationships or dysfunctional patterns and systems that we continuously go through, we normalize the amount of stress hormones we're used to. So now, your body is continuously getting used to these stress hormones to the point where they unconsciously get addicted to it because this is the natural normal state of being. So now when you're thinking of your partner leaving you, it's making you feel a sense of anxiety, it's making you feel a fear of abandonment, which is making you want to prove yourself or to please your partner, to abandon your own needs for theirs, etc. But ultimately that comes off as too needy, that comes off as being too much, that comes off as giving too much, and it pushes that partner all over again away. Then the pattern increase. Whether this person leaves you or not, this pattern repeats itself. You go through the same thing. They threaten to leave and you've gone through the same cycle. But your nervous system is fucking addicted to this. That's the problem. It's addicted to this heightened state of anxiety, of being alert, of stress. So again, if your nervous system, which is a natural physical component of your body, a projection of your mind's actions, reactions, and your emotions, if this is addicted to that stress, you are going to keep looking for these stressful situations just so that you can allow your nervous system to experience what it's always enjoyed. That's what's so crazy. And so you'll want to continuously attract partners who are unavailable or incapable of showing up for you because it gives you those stressful feelings. That's what's so insane. This is what you've been used to, so you continuously want to manifest it. That's point number 1, something that we don't necessarily realize. So if you're getting a lot of value from this video already, then I want you to like or subscribe because I've got so many more videos like this itching and waiting to come out, but they need people who want this value. These videos are waiting for people like you to subscribe so that they can make an influence on your life. And if you think this could really help someone, I'd love for you to share this with them, please, because that's my mission, to help people people break through these wounds and learn to love themselves. Okay, so now point number 2 of why you keep attracting emotionally unavailable partners, or avoidance in some sense, is because also you had an emotionally unavailable parent. Now you may be thinking, well, yeah, it's what the hell does me having an emotionally unavailable parent have to do with my partner? So when you're really young, you have a very active subconscious mind and not a very active like forebrain or conscious mind. You don't have the ability to do logical reasoning, mathematical problems, like deep understanding of language and stuff. You don't need that. Or even a deep understanding of relationships. You don't need that. As a child, you trust tremendously. As a child, you have a dependency, a stronger dependency on love. But as a child also, in your subconscious mind, you create your identity of yourself as you're growing through life based on how other people around you treat you, how the universe and the universe around you, the environment around you responds to you. So when you go up to a parent and you ask for love, your natural expectation is to be loved in return, to get a hug, to get a cuddle, to get soothing, to get validation, whatever you need. But take, for example, you had a parent who maybe they went through war. Maybe they were shamed for their own emotions when they were younger. Maybe if they were a male, for example, they would have said like, oh, emotions are only for women or girls, and like, this makes me weak. And so they had to suppress their own emotional response so much so that they became incapable of giving love. Now, you as a little child, you don't know any of this. You don't understand this. You don't understand that, oh yeah, my dad and my mom, they went through this trauma growing up. They don't know how to love. Love feels dangerous for them, etc. So you run like a pure little being up to them, asking for love. But when you ask for love, they have a huge barrier which prevents them from being open to that love because of their own wound. So they are incapable of that love. So because they're incapable of that love, they either push you away, they turn you away, they don't hold space for your emotions. Maybe they even shame your emotions. Maybe they try and control you, they judge you, any of those particular things. Maybe they're just not there for you because it's so uncomfortable. But at the end of the day, for a little child, they internalize that very strongly, and immediately it goes into the subconscious mind, and then they think to themselves, there must be something wrong with me, and that's why mommy or daddy couldn't love me. There must be something wrong with me, and that's why they're not showing up to soothe me, to validate and love me. They don't know as little children, and they don't have the capability to understand that their parents have been through whatever and that they have their own wounds and stuff. None of that. So you internalize it. When you internalize it, you start to create a huge wound of attachment with your emotionally unavailable parent. Remember I said earlier that your nervous system gets used to this. This attached to these feelings of anxiety, of dependence. So now unconsciously, you tell yourself, okay, I need love as a child. So I'm going to try to please them. I'm going to try to prove them. I'm going to try and earn my love from them. I'm going to do whatever I can so that I can earn and get this little bit of love, because when I do get this little bit of love from someone who's not capable of giving it to me, that's when I'm lovable. Now here's the really messed up part. If I were to take you with that conditioning and I put you into a situation with someone who could really love you, with someone who could show up for you, you would push them away. You would reject them. You would push them out of your life. You would break that down and sabotage that relationship in a second. Do you know why? Because you are not used to accepting real, authentic, capable love. You are used to chasing after the love that wasn't there for you, trying to prove yourself and to earn even a little morsel of it. And that's what you define as value and love. So crazy. So now in your own relationships, you don't want someone who can love you, because that's not where you can really, you're attached to that sense of anxiety. That's not where you get anxiety. That's not where you get dependency. That's not where you have to prove yourself. In a safe relationship, you feel safety. In a healthy relationship, you feel love and safety and grounding and calm and regulation, but you're not used to any of that, so you don't want it. So you go after unconsciously. You keep attracting emotionally unavailable partners because it allows you to repeat the conditioning you had towards your emotionally unavailable parent. And that's what's so insane. This is the law of subconscious programming, is that whatever is our belief, it will come out in an action. Even if you want healthy love, even if you want a safe, loving relationship, if in your subconscious mind there are the beliefs that I have to prove myself to earn love, I have to have these stressful situations or this stressful feeling in my heart because then I know I'm in a relationship, then that's what you'll keep creating. And you won't go after safety, you won't go after loyalty, commitment, you won't go after someone who shows up for you. In fact, you'll probably find those people too much, and you'll reject them when they're showing those to you. So you'll go after what's unavailable, incapable, or unhealthy kind of love for you. And that's what's so insane. So now I want to go to the final piece of what you can do about it. Again, if you love this, please click like and subscribe. I would love for you to be able to watch more of these videos and gain value in your own healing. If you really want more of this healing, you can send me a DM also on my Instagram, which is @theinayats, and you can just say the words transform. And I'd love to hear more of your story, what you're going through, and show you where you can actually step into this healing. But now is the key element, what you can do about it. For me, I have a very strong solution or a strong methodology when it comes to relationship issues. It is not enough for me to just put a band-aid on the symptoms. That's what most relationship therapy does, which is very unfortunate, but it doesn't go back to the core of what's actually creating the problem. So for me, I go back to the core of what's creating the problem. I say, what's missing? How can we actually create this and sustain this in our own lives so that we don't have to have the dependency on another person? Primarily the dependency on someone who can't give me love. So the first thing you need to understand is wherever your nervous system is attached to the sense of anxiety, we have to recondition your nervous system to provide a sense of safety, internal safety. Because if it is so attached to that and conditioned to that, you have to continuously give it safety, stability, grounding, regulation to the point where it's like, okay, now I'm used to this and I want this, I don't want this anymore. So calming the nervous system, regulating the nervous system, creating safety within the nervous system so that it no longer gets attached. I have a bunch of videos on actually how to calm and regulate your nervous system. I even have some meditations on my channel that you can check out, which allow you to do that. But when you learn to heal and calm this nervous system, which used to be attached to anxiety and to your partner, you'll notice that you no longer feel that sense of dependency on the external, either with your partner or that sense of anxiety and stress, because you're creating internal safety, you're internally validating your nervous system. Which now, let's go a deeper step. So we're talking about the nervous system, which is the body and which is the mind body there. Let's go to a deeper step. And now talking about the second space, which is you have to replace and provide that same level of love to yourself that you're seeking from a partner. Again, a lot of you may be thinking to yourself, well, yes, how can I love myself the way I want a partner to love me? I want somebody else to touch me, to validate me, to show up for me, to make me feel special. Therein itself is part of our problem on the dependency, but it's also because we've never learned how to show that level of love from the inside. Think about it. Your whole journey of a relationship was unconsciously chasing after someone who couldn't learn to love you. So where on earth did you learn to understand healthy love, which could learn to love you and give you love? You had no opportunity. Your whole journey was about chasing someone to earn a morsel of love, and that love was just superficial, not even functional love. It was just a sense of affection or attention or dependency for a moment, which was then taken away. So you have to relearn how to love yourself. And this can be done as simple as providing yourself the same love that you want from them. I put in another video of mine where I talk about how to create, like, the same things you're going after in your attachments and your dependencies, how to create them from within. And it's a simple tool of where you can actually even write down on a sheet of paper, how do I want to be loved, touched, hugged, fed, walked with, talked to, whatever, from a partner? How can I learn to give that to myself? And you have to actually go through giving that to yourself, like whether it's cooking for yourself with love as if a partner did it, going for walks with a partner and like looking at the birds, talking about, your environment, etc. to yourself. I would literally physically soothe myself before I got into bed and cuddle and soothe myself, because I would pretend as if a partner, a loving partner, was doing it to me. This made me feel more of my internal sources of love and energy and physical soothing, which allowed me to feel safer, more loved, more grounded, etc. Physically, even though I was just doing it, imagining as if somebody else was doing it for me. And then the last and the most important piece is reparenting your inner child. This is the most important piece because the inner child and their wounds live inside your subconscious mind. So reparenting the inner child is going back to those areas, especially where the inner child, your younger version of yourself, didn't get the love they wanted, and learning to show up for them in those situations that you can remember and those that you can't. There's a process of where you wanted the love and the support and the guidance, but you just couldn't get it, and learning to show up for yourself and give it to them, changing those exact same situations and giving them the love which in those moments they didn't get. So you're basically in your mind, and the mind is incredible. Under the right conditions, it can believe a new story when your brain waves are slow. You're learning to love that inner child so that the loving sources within you are changing, so that you no longer go after the same patterns. You now go after a healthier love. And this is the baseline in the story. If I can teach you, if you can learn to have a healthier understanding of love for yourself, then why on earth would you go after an unhealthy, dysfunctional version of love anymore? You won't. And that's the beautiful, magical, powerful principle of this. So if you've really enjoyed this, you can check out more of my videos that I've worked on, some of the meditations, some of the tools on how to work through this. And I would also request you, if you really want help with learning to reparent, with breaking down these things and changing your patterns, send me a message on Instagram at The Inner Yats. You can even comment here under the YouTube videos and say like, hey, I'm really looking for some healing, and me or a member of my team will get back out to you. But don't forget to like and subscribe, because there's more videos that will come your way.